there's great. I mean, every one of those that you mentioned, I can think of a great film that was made in one of those forms for sure. So I mean, you could argue that a play is too stage bound, or a short story you have to. I tried to adapt a short story, and I found myself trying to write scenes that were measuring up to the original author's talents, and that was very frustrating. There's all sorts of pitfalls, but there are great examples on all those that are super rich.
Oh, I was gonna agree with Rob. It definitely seems like, there are novels that are truly unfilmable, and any of those forms that you just mentioned. I'm sure things that are unfilmable.
Let's go through one by one. Novels. What's the downside of a novel? And I'm going to throw a couple of things out. For me, too many characters. It's too diverse. It's too much of a world where the film has to be more focused. Is that?
It absolutely. In a lot of ways, the film is just such a blunt instrument.
And you can think about like adaptations that you've seen also.
I feel like there is a dumbing down process in some of the better novels, or there's or if you get more towards a novella along that length, or a very streamed down novel. You mentioned the Cormac McCarthy Country Road Men, and his upcoming adaptation is coming out the road. If you read that, it reads like a film. It's just very succinct. He uses very direct language, and it's very, very. When you read it, it's very filmic. But, yeah, and then there's novels that would just be unfilmable, like I think of Gravity Rainbow or something.
It's funny because you mentioned blunt language, and like Hemingway has some of the most straightforward language, and yet they've had the most trouble adapting his stuff. My theory on that is that he's too much of a character. His voice in the writing is stripped away when you just look, like Stephen King too. It's like it's stripped away when you look at just the plot.
Well, Hemingway's interesting just because and authors come in and out of favor. I think the women's studies movement in the '80s. I don't think he would be a hot author to adapt. And then The Old Man and the Sea, I think, is a great adaptation. I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know how it holds up. Is it Joyce and Scott?
And those coming in at 8 o'clock, you're on time versus. No, you're on time for one of the printed start times. We had a couple other ones. We had a couple other ones that were 7:30 and 7 o'clock.
Just jump in with the novels. Pulp is always a place to go to with novels. It seems like so many great directors have found, their great material, whether it's Hitchcock or mystery writers, Du Maurier, or Jim Thompson, or Kubrick. All these guys. Night of the Hunter was a pulp novel. So there's great that pulpiness kind of. I don't know. It seems to lend itself to the kind of splotchy, just kind of raw, condensed, quality of some good filmmaking. It's not too drawn out. It's tight.
Like a skeleton story almost.
Yeah.
Like they don't feel the need to fully draw their characters.
Well, they're in the business of entertaining, pulp writers.